A recent Match.com study showed that the dating habits of Canadians had a shockingly similar connection to their favorite hockey team. Intrigued? Well, so are we.
60% of Vancouver fans are open to a one-night stand. 43% of Calgary fans say they have sent sexually suggestive messages, while Edmonton fans are the ones least likely to sext. 64% of Winnipeg fans stay friends with an ex. 42% of Toronto fans have gotten back together with an ex. 63% of Ottawa fans prefer sex with the lights off. 58% of Montreal fans think that regularly checking a mobile phone and ignoring their date is a first date deal breaker.
To hear more about this study, we've reached out to Match.com relationship expert and therapist Kimberly Moffit. She's up in her office right now, so let's go have a chat.
Every year, Match.com does surveys across Canada. They ask Canadians lots of questions, and some of those questions revolve around their interests outside of dating. So this year they included people's hockey teams as one of the questions. And then what happened was they found that people's hockey team was actually statistically correlated with some of their dating behavior.
We wanted to look further into these statistically significant stats. So we decided to conduct our own little survey.
We've gathered 8 singles all living in Vancouver, 2 locals, and 1 each from Calgary, Edmonton, Winnipeg, Toronto, Ottawa, and Montreal.
Dating in Vancouver? I think Vancouverites generally like to meet people through people.
It's crazy because you've got the oil guys out there and there's a lot of guys out there, but they all just hang out together.
In my days of dating, it was kind of before the Tinder generation, I guess. I ran off referrals always. Because I worked with friends, and if they had a friend I liked, I'd make sure they put in a good word, and then I'd move on from there.
I never had any problems finding dates back in Winnipeg.
I think people are actually a little more approachable in Toronto, and I think it's easier to just go up and strike up a conversation with someone.
It was mostly, to be honest with you, one-night stands.
In Ottawa?
In Ottawa.
Yeah, most of the people I knew in Montreal who started dating someone mostly started from like drunken hookups.
How would you say your dating habits have changed since you moved from Toronto to Vancouver?
I'm certainly more willing to make the first move now and go and actually talk to people.
Vancouver's morphed me into, hey, let's hang out. Like I've been seeing this one guy for a year and we're just hanging out.
I've taken a much more traditional sort of stance on dating. I'll get her number and then I'll text her and then I'll say, hey, can I take you out sometime?
I'm more on the dating scene now, whereas every now and then you'll meet someone and you'll have fun with them for one night, and then that's about it.
When you're going on a date, are you looking for love?
No, I think I'm looking for somebody who I can stand.
I guess, yeah, realistically it is probably for love in the end. I'm not going on a date to meet a friend.
So the Calgary Flames fans are the most likely to believe that kissing is very, very important, and they consider a bad kisser to be a dating deal breaker. And they're also the most likely to send a sexually explicit text message.
What are your thoughts on sexting?
I'm not particularly good at it.
We have technology, so we might as well use it.
It's funny because Calgarians, according to the survey, were the ones that were most likely to sext.
That makes sense to me. You know, you're like stuck inside, it's cold, you don't want to go out.
I don't get it.
You don't get it?
No.
You don't get the question? You don't get sexting?
No, I don't get sexting.
Tell us a bit about the Montreal Canadiens fans.
Sure. Well, the Montreal Canadiens fans are very picky when it comes to love. So the study showed that the certain Canadian standard for #1 turnoff was when people are rude to wait staff. But the Canadiens fans were the only team that deviated from this norm. Their #1 dating turnoff was when someone didn't pay enough attention to them on the date. So they kind of need to be the center of attention. They have high standards, and if that doesn't work out for them, they are gonna leave the relationship. 42% of Leafs fans would actually get back together with an ex that did them wrong. So this is a major problem in relationships. And when we compare that to the Toronto Maple Leafs fans' experience with the team, I think that's like a perfect mirror. The fans are, constantly disappointed and are never getting what they need out of the team, but they keep following them faithfully, hoping that one day they'll change. Well, as we know, the Winnipeg Jets fans just got their beloved team back. So as you know, the fans are probably feeling a little bit hesitant, very cautious when it comes to letting their team back into their hearts. So they're the most likely to be skeptical of new relationships. They're the least likely to believe in soulmates and love at first sight. And they're also the most likely to be friends with an ex.
What are your thoughts on hooking up with an ex?
Generally a bad idea.
Well, I'm good friends with all my exes, but going back down that road, I don't think it's a possibility.
If it's just sex and your ex and you had a really good connection, and why not?
Yeah.
According to the survey, Torontonians is the most likely to hook up with an ex.
I mean, if you look at the loyalty to the hockey team, they just keep going back for more punishment.
60% of Canucks fans would be open to having a one-night stand. I think that's a very statistically significant deviation as well. It's a lot higher than the national average. The study shows that they probably actually have quite good social lives because they're the only teams fans in the whole league whose dating lives are not affected by the playoffs. They keep dating, they keep going out and making it happen for themselves. So I think that's a really positive thing when it comes to Vancouverites.
Okay, what are your thoughts on one-night stands?
I mean, I don't see anything wrong with one-night stands.
For me, it's not like my ideal circumstance.
Would you ever go on a date during a Jets playoff game?
Yeah.
Would you go on a date during a Jets playoff game that wasn't to watch the game?
Oh.
No, probably not.
Okay.
If it's a playoff game, come on, we're fans.
I have done that. Although I will say that when I went off to the bathroom, I did check the score.
With a Leafs fan, I think we would be going to somewhere to watch the game or to the game.
Round one, yeah. I've PVR'd games, gone on dates, come back and watched.
During the Stanley Cup final?
Hell no.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Unless the date was to watch the game.
Is it safe to say Canucks fans are bandwagon jumpers?
I love them, and so I can hate on them sometimes.
Does your partner have to be a hockey fan?
Preferable. Because then, you know, I don't feel guilty for watching hockey and we can watch hockey together and she doesn't mind if I go play hockey because I love hockey.
So we've seen lots of different responses, lots of different hockey markets and how they date all across Canada. In your opinion, which market has the best chance for dating success?
Well, I think there are a lot of different markets that can find success when it comes to love. You know, when you kind of look at the big picture, I think that Vancouver fans actually could stand the best chance of finding love. And I think the reason behind this is it's not necessarily because of the one-night stands, but I think, you know, more importantly, they're making love a priority for themselves. If their dating lives are not affected by the playoffs, it means that they're still going out, they're having fun, they're making dating, you know, they're making it a priority in their lives. And from the survey as a whole, I think it really shows us that your hockey team isn't just a team. It's a relationship that you have, and when you're a fan, you're really invested in that relationship. And if you're planning on dating a hockey fan, it's also something to keep in mind that someone's hockey team is a priority for them, and that they are going to invest, they are going to do things that you don't necessarily understand or agree with, but that's something that you have to accept because that relationship with that team is a long-standing, long-term relationship.
So there you have it, the dating habits of hockey fans. Hopefully you're a little more informed about a quirky Canadian topic that we can all relate to.